This week on the season finale of The Bachelorette.
Deep down inside, as scary as it is to admit it, if in fact you do love this woman, I think you gotta tell her. Because I'm afraid you're gonna lose her if you don't.
Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to talking about the new episode of The Bachelorette, which is the season 21 grand finale. And wow, do we have a lot to talk about. So let's get right into this. Alright, you guys, so after 10 weeks, it's finally a finale. Per usual, there were many Bachelor Nation alumni in the audience. They were plugging in the Golden Bachelorette every chance they got, and so also for this Mormon wife show, which I'll definitely be watching. And of course, it wouldn't be a finale without Jesse teasing that there will be something that has never happened in Bachelorette history. And like at this point, it's a joke, but he was right. Oh my gosh, so this did not go the direction I thought it was going to go at all. So let's begin the episode. Jenn is in Hawaii. Her final two are Marcus and Devin. And her family has arrived. And I gotta say that I thought it was very sweet to see Jenn's mom. Very nice lady. She starts crying as soon as she sees Jenn walk into the room. So the family that Jenn brought is her mom, her aunt, her brother, and one of her close friends. And again, really monumental that this is the first Asian family that we're seeing on The Bachelor. And I really love that they were speaking their native language from time to time. But this is primetime television, American television, so that's a big deal. Jenn tells them that she is in love with two men, but that only one of them has told her that they love her, which is Devin. So the first guy that they introduce is Devin. Devin tells them that Jenn has spoken so highly of all of them and that they have connected very much when it comes to the topic of family. Then Devin goes to speak with just her mom and the aunt. They ask Devin if he's ever dated an Asian girl. He says, no, I haven't, but I love it because he himself is half white but also half Hispanic. To him, Jenn makes him feel whole. It was very touching to hear the aunt ask him if he would be able to always make her feel safe since she didn't have a father in her life. And he says, yeah, absolutely. What if he isn't the one, they ask, and he says that it would kill him. Jenn then speaks to her mom. Her mom seems a little bit hesitant. She's asking Jenn questions. Has he told you that he loves you? Does he like the culture? Is he willing to learn more about the culture? And Jenn says yes to all of those questions. Jenn asks her mom, do you like him? And then the mom says, I need more time. I think it's normal to feel skeptical. And who knows, maybe, I don't know what the mom was feeling, but she wasn't sold 100%. Then we go to her brother. He tells Jenn that he too doesn't know about Devin 100%. He asks about Devin's dad and things like that just to kind of get a little bit more of a sense about him. He did say that he can tell that Jenn looks very happy and that's all that he wants. So then the brother talks to Devin and he asks him, do you know how do you know she's the one? And Devin tells him, Jenn keeps me grounded. And the brother asks, well, how do you keep her grounded? Devin says, well, we share a lot in common and all this stuff. Devin also tells him that after Jenn told him that she loved him, it meant a lot. And he only wants to do this whole process of getting engaged and doing all of this just one time. And he also asks for the brother's blessing. And the brother says, I'm not going to give you that just now because I still have to talk to a second guy. But I do appreciate that you asked me about this. Now, by the way, I'm only 21. I haven't asked anyone's hand in marriage. But let me ask y'all in the comments. Is it really this intense in real life when you're asking like family members? Or is it a little overplayed for the show? Let me know in the comments. But I will say, her brother was asking some pretty good questions. Jenn and Devin go talk after this whole meeting, and she knows that he didn't have the most smooth ride with her family, but she tells him once again that she loves him and tells him not to get into his head. So overall, it wasn't a great day, but it was not a bad one either. Then it is time for Marcus. Again, she has told him that she loves him, but he hasn't said that to her yet. Also, can I please make a suggestion? Stop putting these annoying people's reactions in the corner during the episode. They're so distracting and unnecessary. Anyway, the family tells him to tell them a little bit more about himself. This is Marcus now. And he tells them what we know about him. Him being an orphan, being abandoned, almost dying, and those traumatic things that he had to go through. He continues a conversation with Jenn's brother. He says that in the military, you don't make decisions based off emotion, but by logic rather. So the brother asks if this is maybe the main reason why he's a little closed off and not too open about his feelings. The brother asks him some hard questions as well, and unfortunately Marcus is kind of going in circles. Then he talks to the aunt and to the mom. They ask him, "Are you in love with Jenn?" And Marcus says, "I'm not there yet, and I don't know why I haven't been able to get there. It makes me feel unsure. I want to get there, but I'm struggling." I was just thinking, damn, I feel bad for him for sure, but to hear Devin say, "I love her, I want your blessing, I love you guys," and then to hear from this guy talking about, "I'm not there yet," it's not a great look. The brother then talks to Jenn and asks her, "Do you think Marcus is giving you the love that you need?" And she says, "No, he could be doing more." But she does justify this by bringing up his trauma and says that maybe that's part of the reason why he isn't so open. And the brother says that he understands that trauma, he doesn't want to downplay it, but Jenn does have a tendency to choose men who are not emotionally available and aren't vulnerable. So to him, maybe this could be a pattern. So she says that she's given a lot, and then the brother asks, "Well, how much longer are you willing to wait?" And that kind of made a light bulb go off on Jenn's head, and she was kind of like, "Oh shoot, like maybe I didn't think about it that way." And then they had a very special moment as siblings. So Marcus says goodbye to the family, and then he talks to Jenn outside. She asks him, "How do you see this ending for us?" And he was like, "Today was a great process." But he's sounding like this is week 6. No, fool. This is the final week. And then again with the word salad, she asks, "Are you not sure about me?" And he says, "I'm trying because I think it's possible." But again, not looking good at all. There's no way that one of the top 2 should be feeling like this. So the next day they have some final dates. I forgot they had final dates. I thought it was just, meeting the family and that was it, but no. So her first final date was with Devin, and she's already calling him baby and everything, so that's a great sign. They did a Hawaiian ceremony. They did they had some rocks, and it all has a meaning, of course, like get a rock to represent something that you want to get rid of and throw it into the water and stuff like that. The later part of the day, they were having more of a meaningful conversations like they've had all season. And then he gives her a gift. It was a necklace that the shaman gave him when they had their one-on-one, which was a while ago, so it's very meaningful. But I don't know, you guys, this was the part of the episode when I started to feel that something bad was going to happen. It seemed a little too good to be true. A little too "I love you," lots of kissing, and I was just like, let's see what happens. So the next day, it's going to be the day for Marcus to have his final date, but he speaks to Jesse first. Jesse, hasn't seen him since overnight suites, and they're kind of having the same conversation that they had 2 weeks ago. Marcus says that he's torn, but I'm just like, what are you torn about? It's either you love her or you don't. I can't believe that Jenn sent Jonathan to keep this guy. That's crazy. So Jesse's only advice is that if he truly loves her, he's going to have to tell her this today, because it's not about talking about no process. No, this is the end. Wake the hell up. So for this final meetup, Jenn is going to need to ask a lot of questions to Marcus. So she goes straight to his hotel room. Jenn is done dancing around it, so she goes straight into it and asks him, "What is going to happen tomorrow? Do you want to just continue to date? Do you want to propose? Are things going to change today? What's going to happen?" And he has no answers, y'all. He keeps looking down, and Jenn says, "It doesn't look like you're excited for a future with me." And he says it's scary for him, and he's struggling. He says that he's scared, but wants Jenn to make him want to fight, and he wants a family in the future. And she says, "I know all of that, but I don't think you want that stuff with me." He says, "Well, my feelings are for you are real." Let me tell y'all ladies something. If there's a man that's behaving like this, he don't want you. I do believe Marcus's feelings, like when he was crying, and I do think there's something about him that's struggling, but he's clearly not Jen's person. And I don't know why she's being so stubborn. Like, take a hint, lady. So he's crying, she's crying, and then she needs to take a moment. Marcus then says, at the end of the day, I do love you, and I do want to do this with you, and I want to give it a try. What? So now you saying it? I thought this was gonna be a breakup. Oh my goodness. And I thought, Jen, please don't be dumb enough to run with this. So again, she takes a break, takes some fresh air. When she comes back inside, now all of a sudden he's singing like a bird, saying that he doesn't want to lose her and that he did fall in love with her. And I'm sorry, y'all, listening to Marcus talk is exhausting. Thankfully, Jen got some common sense and she tells them that at this point she's done being with someone that's gonna be making her wait around and, maybe see a future with her and maybe this. No. It was very sad when I I did have some compassion for him when he said, "I'm afraid I'll never find someone as great as you," and it makes me think if there's something wrong with me. But she tells him that he's a good guy, and at the end of the day, he will find his person. So this was their breakup. Marcus was crying a lot, like I said. Marcus then joins Jesse in the live studio audience, and he says that it was very hard to watch this back. He says that those final days in Hawaii helped him clear up a lot of his feelings about Jen. Then Jen comes on out to the studio. It's the first time that they've seen each other since they shot that last scene. Jen pretty much tells him that she cares very deeply for him and she hopes that he's fine. He says that the same thing, which is that he still cares for her deeply and hopes that she's happy and doing well, and he thanks her for this whole process. Jen says that she always kind of deep down knew that there was something a little off. Marcus, with him, definitely a defining moment for her was when Devin came to her hotel to ask her if she loved him. And she said that that day kind of put the two connections in perspective, and she realized that her connection with Devin was much stronger. And then by the time they got a fantasy suite, she just saw that they were completely in different paths, her and Marcus. So that last conversation they had was just really, kind of having closure. Then Marcus says a whole lot of nothing. Those people who can just talk and talk, but they're not really saying anything at all? That's pretty much him. Jesse does ask Jen if Marcus had told her sooner that he loved her, would that have changed things? Would things have gone differently? And she pretty much says no, and that was pretty much it. And that was it. Listen, Marcus, I'm gonna give you some advice, bro. Go to therapy. You need intensive therapy, my brother. Like real therapy. And I know a lot of people were in the comments and Twitter and other social medias asking why they didn't bring up the allegations about him. Why did they brush over those? I'm glad they did, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. I'm not casting doubt in any of those allegations, but when you have something so damaging, I don't think accusations done on Reddit should have a place on a platform with where millions and millions of people are watching. Because whether or not those are true, I think that this is just me personally, allegations need to be taken seriously, but I don't think they should be impacting people's lives unless you go to the actual court process and it becomes that it's true. Until then, it's just speculation, and I don't think his life deserves to be ruined. I think it needs to go through the process of the court. And that was just a little side comment, but whatever. Okay, so then we have the final moment of truth. Devin goes to get a ring, and then Jesse goes to see Jen to ask how she's doing, and she says that she woke up this morning, but she's gonna do something unprecedented. She's gonna pick herself, and she's not gonna let Devin propose because she's gonna propose. Aha! I knew this would happen. I 100% knew this would happen. But then wait, Jesse stops the finale again. Instead of seeing the proposal, he interrupts and says that something happened and we can't see what happened until Jen comes out. Jen then joins the stage and she's in tears. She can't get a word out, and she says that they left Hawaii engaged and very happy and thought she had her person, but then she said things were completely different. All the promises that he had made were not fulfilled. He was pulling away. He was acting very weird, like he wouldn't bring her around his family and stuff like that. Long story short, he broke up the engagement. He told her that he didn't love her and that he regretted the whole thing. She even said to him, like, okay, maybe if this is too much pressure on you, we can just go back to dating. But he didn't want to. She says that she tried very hard to fight for this relationship and put herself in his shoes, try to see where he was coming from. But she was truly heartbroken. Then they bring Devin out. Honestly, I was mad even looking at him. Like, I don't even want to see him. So she begins to tell him that she could understand some of the feelings that he might have been feeling if it had something to do with the pressure and stuff like that. But his behavior after the fact, like, First of all, breaking up an engagement through a phone call. Second of all, following girls on Instagram like Maria. Oh, damn. She was really upset about that one. He says, well, I can't excuse that, but everything I felt for you was real. And Jenn says, oh, really? Was it really that real? Because a week after our breakup, you went to New York and you were clubbing with Jeremy. Then the camera pins to Jeremy, which was actually pretty hilarious. But then Jenn and Devin begin to bicker. So Jesse interjects and says to Devin, you always spoke so highly about her. What happened? And he says that there were feelings that he was suppressing and he never brought them out. She's very upset that they dated for 2 months after the finale, and the whole time he pretty much had his foot out the door. Jenn says that she truly did want to spend the rest of her life with him, and that every Monday for the past month, she's been heartbroken because of all the things that feels like a lie. All the things that he said he would do, he didn't. He never fought for her like he said he would do. He didn't protect her like he said to her family that he would, and he abandoned her like he said he wouldn't. Devin gives this whole big speech, but I didn't understand a single thing. Jesse then shares some very special words with Jenn. He apologizes for this being the ending, like, she didn't deserve this, but she did some amazing things, so she should take the good things with her. They do end up showing the proposal. Jenn was crying and crying and crying as we were watching it. So it was a typical engagement. Devin said all these nice and beautiful things about her, which clearly now mean nothing. But then she says some wonderful and beautiful things about him. She then says to him, I can't let you propose to me. I've chosen myself and I want to wake up every day choosing you. So will you marry me? She gives him a ring. He accepts. He's super happy. He then proposes to her formally on his knees. She says yes. And that would have been such a very nice, beautiful ending, but it wasn't. So back to the studio, Jesse tells her that she should feel empowered because she did things her way. She's still crying and says that was honestly the happiest day of her life, the engagement. In that moment, that was the best that she could have had. However, while that might still be the same woman who stood there, now that's not the same man. As far as Devin, he's trying just like to say something. Pretty much the same thing. I made promises they couldn't keep. A part of me really did think, honestly, I thought that he would apologize or try to get back with her. I don't know. Then they showed a preview of the Golden Bachelorette, they showed a preview where Kelsey's dad is leaving the limo. I predict that he's not going to be chosen but by this lady, but that he will eventually be the next Golden Bachelor. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. This was a shocking finale for sure. First of all, why did they? It would have made more sense for them to show everything and then to show the aftermath. I think it would have made a little bit more sense. That's first of all. Second of all, I feel played, you guys, because I'm usually a good judge of character. I've predicted all the bad guys. I've predicted them. This one I did not see coming. I feel like we got played, and from Devin's answer, I was really expecting to hear the reason why he broke up with her. He never was able to explain to us why. And that can only leave us to one conclusion. He was in this to win it, and that was it. He wanted to win the game, but he didn't want to actually commit to it, which is really, it's very disappointing and it's very bad. I feel bad because I do think Jenn put in her real blood, sweat, and tears. Clearly, he did it, and that's such a shame. I did not see this coming at all. At all. I really did think that they were going to end up together. I mean, they did, but not they didn't. They're not together anymore. So yeah, guys, this was honestly the saddest part for me is putting your family through it. Jenn having to put her mom, her aunt, her brother for all this to happen. It's such a shame, but this was the epic finale that no one saw coming. I don't think any of us predicted this. Let me know what your thoughts were about this finale. Were you surprised? Did you think that Devin was a good guy? Were you deceived by him as I was? What do you think about this whole thing? Please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been an amazing ride. Thank you all for 10 weeks of the Bachelorette recaps. I've enjoyed coming on here to talk to you guys about them. So let me know all your thoughts. And until the next one, you have a great one. Bye.